happens. These things happen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Riff Raff Podcast. I'm Limina. I'm joined by my friend David. Hey, David.
Hey. Hi,
How's
how are
the
you?
East Coast?
East Coast, great. Amazing summer. Fantastic.
Great, growing
Like
great.
weather-wise, I mean, yeah, for the
Yeah,
garden
good.
and all that. Like, man, oh man, lots of moisture, lots of sun, but not too
Good.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why, so just listeners, again, if you didn't know, that's why David and I have decreased our podcasting is because we're spending a lot of time outside growing food, canning,
Oh,
freezing,
oh,
doing
oh.
all those great things.
And on that note, we haven't had a podcast. I haven't done any podcasts at all, and you and I haven't done one together in over a month.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just to speak to that whole
Yeah.
thing, and I've sort of ended the other podcasts that I do. So I'm not doing really
Yeah.
much online at all.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
I
that
will,
probably later when we talk about like giving up a cell phone for a week as an experiment. I
yeah,
believe that's at the end. But
for
anyway,
sure.
we got a big
So,
broadcast prepared
so a
here.
lot has happened during this last month, and you and I communicate over text, and we're friends. Like we talk about gardening and should we do this, and we in the meantime, but a lot has really happened for you over the last month, and I've tried to be supportive from afar, but it's been really life changing. So, what's your big news, David?
I got Lyme disease.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. It's good to be here. No, I've been treated, and I finished my last antibiotic a couple days ago. But I'm still taking a lot of this herbal stuff that my wife has ordered, and we don't need to get into all those things, but it's cool. And there's even black pills, and I have 3 of them in front of me, 3 black pills that I actually have to take. I have to take those soon. 3 black pills today.
All right.
It's a bit of a joke also because I'm so black pilled in general about the world. But no, I have Lyme disease, and it really fucked me up bad. I've had it for a year. I realize now, when I look back over all the health problems I have been having, I had a stroke a year and a half ago. But then I got Lyme disease a few months later. So all the shit that's been going on with me for the past 1 year or so, we thought in this house, it was all stroke stuff.
Yeah.
Until my knee.
I definitely did, because when you were going through this stuff with your school,
yes,
I kept asking you questions like, have you always been this way? Like, do you always stay up all night just because somebody sent you an email? Just trying to ascertain before and after, because that's the only way to really tell, right? But then it's come out that it's actually been something completely different.
Yeah. There's a lot I could say about it because it's been a year. But I was trying to think about how to be succinct. But we're going to chat, me and you, because you've had Lyme too. We're going to dish about Lyme to start our show today. So,
and my experience has been totally different from you, and it's really interesting and quite emotional for me. I'm super happy for you, but I'll never be the same because it was just too long.
Well, I hope it's gone, because there's a 10% chance I still have it and it's going to flare up. And now that I've had the blood test once and it showed positive antibodies, if I take a blood test again, I asked my doctor yesterday, I said, I'm done the antibiotics. Should I get a blood test? She said, no, because for your whole life, you're going to have the antibody now, so you can never get another blood. You know about that? Is she lying to me again? Did AI tell her this?
Well, and so anything is only as good as their test, right? So, and I tell people, and in the show notes, we've already got this can Lyme. So it depends what test. Canada does 2 tests. And when I first got sick, and then 10 years after, when I asked them to test me for Lyme and they wouldn't, it was a 2-tiered system. So you test one, and then if that shows positive, then they test another because they didn't believe it. So sorry, I'm just trying to get the can Lyme up here. So the other thing that I would say too is that that's not for sure, because sometimes the tests do false positive or false negatives, right? The problem is that this Borrelia burgdorferi, which is the one I imagine you have, although there's different ones.
Yeah, there's a variety of this shit.
Yeah.
But either the treatment tends to just knock all of it out, whatever it happens to be, I guess. So anyway.
No,
No?
that's not true. A
Hmm.
lot of people end up with long Lyme and they don't know why.
Right.
So
Yeah.
in theory, you should be able to do, so you said you did 3 weeks treatment, but it used to be a 10 days treatment. That was the Health Canada recommend. So
Mhm.
probably still is, and your doctor has stepped outside of that, just knowing a bit, because you are in the hotbed. There's more Lyme in the East Coast and
Oh, buddy.
Ontario than there is here, right? So your doctor probably is more clued in than, say, any of them here. And the ones that were clued in here have been retired by Health Canada or pushed out.
Yeah.
But some people, so here's the thing, and the same with COVID, and we're seeing it with many other infections, is some people don't get better. So you're likely to get better. 90% of people will get better. But like you said, there's 10% of people who won't respond to the treatment. And of that 10%, there's some that just won't respond at all. And I think a lot has to do with your body makeup and then biofilms, and then just sort of a lack of understanding of how we're treating these diseases.
Yeah, luckily I'm a healthy bastard. Stroke and Lyme simultaneously. Holy shit, and I pulled through. Oh my God. My wife looks at me every day and she's like, she stares straight in my fucking eyes and she goes, "You are a different person." And I fucking feel it. And here's the weird thing. I've been doing a podcast for 2 years. So for the whole, and I think I should apologize to the audience maybe for being such a black pill cunt the whole time, because I was covering transhumanism, Satanism, and all this dark shit. And it was dragging me fucking down in my real life. I had Lyme disease. I had an inflamed brain. I was having heart palpitations. I had Lyme carditis. I was going fucking down. Okay. My health was going down big time. I could barely get out of bed. And what a reversal. It's been 3 weeks and I'm fucking back. I feel younger and stronger than ever. It's incredible. This fucking Lyme disease, you know what? Maybe it is a weapon of the New World Order to destroy human beings. I'll tell you something. It's drained me of my fucking soul. My will to live. Okay? Lyme disease, it's not a joke. And everyone here has had it. Everyone in my area. Because
oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
But no, here on the south shore of Nova Scotia, and that bioweapons lab is in Maine, not far from here. Side issue.
Well, that's
everybody says to me, "Yeah, I've had Lyme too."
Maine.
Yeah, everyone's like, "I've had Lyme 3 times."
Lyme, Connecticut.
My wife has had Lyme 3 times, 4 times. Oh yeah, my mailman has Lyme right now. Everyone's got Lyme. My wife works in the hospital. It's a Lyme city. So what the hell, man? Is it a weapon or not?
Well,
maybe not. Maybe it's natural. But it makes you feel like a parasite. Like I had this fascination of crawling into like the backseat of my car in some place and just going to sleep and just being sick. And I told my wife one day, and this was bad. I was like, I wish I think I'm just going to go get in my car, drive somewhere dark, like in the forest, and crawl back in there and bring my little camping stove and all my survival gear and just go be a sick fuck for the rest of my life and slowly die. That's how you feel. That's why I said it was a soul attack, you know? But anyway, I'm fucking back from the brink, people. Holy shit.
I can really relate to that. So we use the term Lyme disease, but we're really, sorry, I'm getting my dogs.
Yeah, your camera's off. Did you do that intentionally?
I did that because I'm just getting my dogs.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
There's so many co-infections that go along with Lyme disease too, and the symptoms of Lyme disease are generalized, right? So it can look like MS, it can look like lupus, but it can also lead into those autoimmune disorders too, right?
Yeah.
There's something about that.
My dad had MS. My dad died of MS. So I told my wife, I was like, she's a nurse. I said, I think I have MS. I'm fucking sick here. Yeah. Something's really not right. But I had a stroke, so whatever. Brush it under the rug again. Brush it under the rug again and again and again. I had a fucking stroke. Holy crap, man. I got so lucky that and I told you on the last episode we did at the end, I went to the doctor because I'm sick. She said, let's send you for a blood test because you're saying fatigue and all this depression shit.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe I got Lyme disease. I said that to her face. And she said, I don't think this is Lyme. I had a swollen knee, which is the number one fucking symptom, swollen joints.
Yeah.
This doctor, she's like 25. We'll give her, and she's not from Canada. So maybe she doesn't know about Lyme. But we're in Lyme fucking city. How does she not know this is Lyme? I said, please test me for Lyme. So she did.
It
Boom.
doesn't matter though. Germany's got some of the best Lyme. Like that's where one of the best testing sites is Armin Labs in Germany, right?
Let's talk about the slide into mental health shit, because my school, I was causing disturbances and trouble in school, but they're woke as hell, and it was a genuine war, but I took it too far. So they tried to send me to the psychologist, and I almost went. My doctor, I told her I'm fucking depressed, but I told her it's normal. Everyone's depressed. And I started quoting existentialists and stuff. So I was going crazy. And she said, maybe you're depressed. Let's look at that more. So you're into this, the mental health slope that you just slide down no matter what the fuck is wrong with you in society. I almost went down there too. What if they gave me antidepressants still with Lyme? I would be such a wretch by now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh, I got so lucky, man. But you, let's talk about you, because you did not get so lucky because no one fucking treated you for 20 years. You were sick. Tell me more about this, because I know you were friends, but I don't know this story.
It's interesting to me, so it can be a little emotional for me. I don't want to get into the whole victim thing. I just want to put up Armin Labs so people can maybe tell
you're
if
showing
they're
on the screen. You're showing on the screen can Lyme. Is that what you're going to show?
Yeah, I want to do the Armin Labs one because they're so interesting. So the PCR test is one of the tests they do for and that I had done probably in my 12th year of being sick. And it wasn't taken in Canada. They're like, we don't accept PCR tests. Everybody tests positive for PCR. They're shitty tests, blah, blah, blah. And when COVID rolled out and it was a PCR test, I got to look at the same doctor and said, well, I thought that would show all positive. And he just wouldn't talk to me again after that.
That's right. Because not to cut you off, but I got to throw this in here, because the global medical system, the top of the chain of the whatever, WHO, all these fuckers, the Royal Society in London, whatever they are, they in 2020 very quickly, within weeks, switched all of human science to make the PCR test something that fucking detects stuff.
Well, right. Okay? And so I was watching the Health Canada site on Lyme. I was watching the Health Canada site on Lyme, and they actually changed in Alberta. They changed actually what they had there, because before they had PCR tests are known to provide false positive, and they are if they're not done right. It all depends on the cycles that it goes through, which whatever is another story. But when I went in, so I had a lot of the co-infections, and one of the ones that I had was babesia. And to say it was just like having malaria is the same. It's the same family sort of, but in Canada. And I went to sleep for months. I was only awake maybe for 2 hours a day and not 2 hours at once, trying to raise 4 kids. And I just couldn't get them. I'm like, I have this heart pounding. I'm losing consciousness. I'm falling down. I've lost control of my arms and legs. And even now, I guess people could probably tell that I make a lot of throat noises, like I'm burping, but it's, I don't have really great control over my esophagus anymore. It's kind of gone. So I choke a lot, and it just stops working a lot. So they're like, you're depressed, but I was working in mental health at that time with children with severe mental health. I'm like, that's not how depression shows up, where it's just all of a sudden you can't get out of bed and you have heart things or whatever. And they're like, you're stressed. And I'm like, so that also doesn't make sense. I'm sure people, I'm a high energy, or was a high energy person. I'm used to that. But they really had nothing for me, right? You just get sent to this specialist and that specialist and the other specialist, and the neurologist says, well, we see things there, your one eye doesn't work properly, but we can't really pinpoint anything. Where they do find things like I have a lot of white lesions on my brain, particularly in my frontal lobe, which may actually explain a lot of stuff.
All from a fucking bug bite, eh? This is sick.
Well,
how could nature produce
you
such a
got to
thing?
think they didn't even think about treating me, and I wasn't treated for anything for 10 years.
This is insane.
So I would just go to sleep for weeks, and then it would at the beginning it relapsed and remit. Like I was just in pain all the time, and you know, at that time they were pretty happy to hand out opiates, which I didn't take, which I'm pretty thankful for till the end. But yeah, it's such a different thing. So it was a naturopath that diagnosed me, and it was Armin Labs in Germany. That's how I know about it. From there, like I don't want to get too into it, but pretty much my body's never going to be the same. So by that time you can't take 10 days or 3 weeks versus of antibiotics and be over it. It's really entrenched in biofilms. My joints will never be the same. It's pain when you wake up and pain when you go to sleep. And I don't want to keep, because then I get into that victim mode and that really fuck you, burn it all down mode. And I don't want to do that. This is my life. A lot of people are sick now, and a lot of people are sick because they took that shot and have autoimmune disorders. But what I did do is I started a support group for people with Lyme that turned into like even with chronic illness. And one of the things we had to do, and this was probably 10 years ago, 8 years ago, is that we help support people from, because you're quickly placed into that's a somatic illness, which is basically fakey faker, or a psychological illness where you're transferring. And then even worse, the parents of these little kids, because we started really seeing a rise in children having it then, trying to protect them from being classified as Munchausen. So like making their children sick or faking on behalf of their children. So it's been a tough climb. It makes me happy that there's been progress to hear your story of within a year, your doctor agreed to test you. They accepted the first test because that wouldn't have happened 10 years ago. You would have had to take a second one. Neither are really great. And that she treated you longer than the 10 days is also great. That you can just easily go online and find a super, like a helpful naturopathic treatment makes me happy for everybody that's coming up. But you look at that time frame, that is a generation. And if you look at Lyme, Connecticut, where it came out of, this was the 70s and 80s that children started to get sick. And it was actually not doctors, but mothers that raised the flag and said, why do all our children have arthritis? This is fucked up. And insisted on what they look like, they have. I also want to say this. Sickness when you're in a couplehood can be devastating, because you are not the same person and the other person picks up so much slack. So I want to do a specific shout out for my husband, who has tolerated me for 20 years. And there's been huge swaths of time where I haven't worked, or I complained, or I've become like, I'm like you, where it's like, I just laid in bed thinking, fuck, somebody, like, God, kill me.
It's a soul killing disease. How can a weapon go after your mind? No, I'm even using the term weapon. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know if it is or not. We don't know. But this thing is so insidious. My God.
I think all parasites are. I added the book Bitten, which is a great book if you want to look up the history of why it's called Borrelia burgdorferi. Like, it was named after William Burgdorfer, who happened to come along and help out the nice people in Lyme, Connecticut, but was a military guy who studied bioweapons, and there's a lot of that stuff there, and you can find it. But the truth is, for people like me and you, who fucking cares whether it is or not? We got it, and it's devastating.
Yeah, and I would like to complain about the news and criticize the mainstream media and social media and every shithead on the internet posting about boxes of ticks here, there. Every word I hear about ticks in the media, any kind, is scary, horrific stuff. Even the CBC News here locally in my region talks about it fucking endlessly. Ticks, ticks, ticks. And it's very scary. You know what they never mention? Watch out for a swollen fucking knee. Watch out for heart palpitations. Well, here's some symptoms you could watch out for.
Yeah.
Here's a lot of symptoms. Here's experts you can call at any time to check on your business. I go to the doctor. She asked me if AI can listen to our information. First question. She asked if AI could listen. I said no. I said maybe I have Lyme. She said I don't think it's Lyme. She said I could test you if you would like me to. And she looked at me and said, yeah. So fuck the media and the whole system. This is the raft that we are on, floating away from the sinking ship. So that's the point of the podcast. That's why we're talking about Lyme.
Yeah. And there's lots you can do to protect yourself, right? So let's talk about that for a second. But first, I want to say, and I can tell things are, sorry. First, I want to say that before you make a decision on whether it is a bioweapon or not, ticks are carrying this new disease. It's called alpha-gal, and it's actually not a disease, or alpha-gal, some people are calling it. I call it, I says alpha-gal.
Okay.
And it makes you basically allergic to all red meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be the biggest fucking coincidence, like COVID coming out of Wuhan, where the big fucking laboratory is. That would be such a huge coincidence that at the same time we're being told that cow farts are killing the planet and red meat is bad for you, you know?
This is my issue. I'm quite convinced that there are people in very powerful places, very rich, who would like to see us all dead or just sick, because that makes them money, while if us just being alive. Kind of like when you throw grenades, that's what a grenade is for. You throw that, it wounds people. It's not designed to kill. So it drains resources from the medics and your enemies.
Yeah.
So you got to think like an evil motherfucker sometimes when you think about things in this world. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
People think the Illuminati is not there, but I'm sorry, they are. They absolutely are.
Yeah.
And they hate us.
Yeah. And
they come up with this shit. I mean, I don't know. I felt so disgusting that this weapon is almost like from Aliens or something. Like, how could you be so deflated spiritually? I couldn't even meditate or anything. Like, I lost my ability to even meditate, and I've been doing it for 25 years. And I thought, this is not good.
You do lose your mind, and it is like, I feel like I'm a smart person and you're a smart guy, but you lose your smarts too. It's like you can't even put yourself together. So I am so thankful that I met the naturopath that I did, that was willing to work with me and work outside. And then I went on and I saw somebody in mainstream medical. They've pushed him out now, Dr. Hawkins. He actually testified a few times in the Canadian Parliament, and just Health Canada came down on him. Then they removed his funding. So that was a lot of that. So then we had a prescription writing pharmacist that we protected, that believed in Lyme, and what they did would audit him and audit him and audit him until they pushed him out. And then we had a guy in Red Deer so this is what they do, is anything you don't like, and they don't care if in a generation or two, if they find out the doctors were right. So you don't get healthcare in Canada, you get a process, and this is the process, and the doctors aren't allowed to deviate from it. So I do think there is something to it, just in how quickly, and also the centers in which it manifested, but also when you see things like this alpha-gal, nothing like that is around in nature, and it's coming out just at the time where ideologically it fits in. I just want to do a turnover here too. Is like, so there's things people can do. There's a lot of non-DEET formulas that they can use for bug spray. There's a lot of essential oils you can wear, but cloth barriers and checks are really important. So tuck your pants in. When I hunt, and if you're hunting on the ground, tuck everything in. Keep it closed up, even if you're hot. Try not to give them access, and then do checks regularly. Or if you can, like this year, we have a tick bloom in Alberta. So I bought myself a tree stand. So I'm not sitting in the grass and the bushes this year because it's so much. They're everywhere. People are pulling them off. And I don't know, like moose are dying. There's so many on them. There'll be like 30,000 and just
Yeah.
suck the whole animal dry.
Yeah, I know. I
So
know what
it's
they look
important
like.
to remember when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
skinning or when you're handling animals for people who allow their dogs and cats to sleep in their bed. Remember
Mm,
that those animals can bring that into your bed. And if you're looking for the bullseye rash, don't.
yeah.
Most of the time, it's just a rash.
Yeah, I didn't see
It
anything.
doesn't have to look like that one. And sometimes you don't know, like the little nymphs from ticks are not the ticks that you see. They're like the size of a grain of sand and they can transmit. There's a lot of myths that it has to be attached and embedded for a certain length of time. That's garbage. How you get it off is important. So again, I've left the Lyme link in the show notes. Check it out. They sell tech removal kits too. Um, and it's important how you do that. So moving on from that,
Can I
when
say
I
something
did,
about rashes?
yes,
Rash?
yeah,
So swollen joints, particularly knees, that's
hmm
something for sure to be worried about and to get looked into. But a rash,
fatigue.
I don't like talking about rashes on my body on my podcast, but get this. I don't know if you remember this. We had a guest on our show, your friend, who you know, Kelly, I believe. Kelly, your
Yeah, yeah,
facial recognition. No, what?
yeah.
Not facial recognition, but
Face reader.
she's a face reader. We had her
Yeah,
on the show.
yeah.
And within 10 minutes, she looked at me and she goes, she was looking at my face, even through the internet. And she said, yeah, something's going on with you, maybe yeast or something. And it's weird because I had a rash at that exact moment. And I thought, and I even said on the show, I said, yeah, I got yeast problems. That's because I had a fucking Lyme disease rash. I'm not going to say where. There's in a few places.
It's interesting though. So both like sort of
And the rash was untreatable.
acidic.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I had the rash 6 months, red and nasty rash, a
hmm
crazy red, like a blotch.
hmm
And my wife was giving me all the creams that they use in the hospital. She said, this always cures this stuff up. Nope,
Nothing.
never.
No.
Months and months and months. I was pouring tea tree oil directly onto my skin, burning
hmm
my fucking skin even to try every herbal anything. Nothing.
hmm
You know what?
hmm
Rash gone because of
hmm
this drug, the antibiotic. So just to point out rash, if you got rashes that you can't get rid of, watch out. You might have Lyme disease for sure because that's like the top
hmm
thing. And my doctor was like, nah, swollen knee, rash, you're depressed, you're fucked up. You feel a sense of doom upon you. Ah, that's not Lyme. Get out of here. You're depressed.
hmm
Wrong. My doctor was wrong. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And they're wrong a lot. And so I think that one of the differences between you and I is like, so you had something else come up and it doesn't matter. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's true. And so I'm instantly researching it. I don't believe anything they say. And now I'm talking to people more and more where they do their own research and they basically go in and get their doctor to do that. So the doctor's getting paid for what you've done. I want to share this screen. This is probably the best herbalist guy, although I don't think he's alive anymore, but his books are still great. And his herbal, like if you have an indication you can't get your doctor to move, I think this Dr. Stephen Herr Bruner, his books are some of the best on Lyme with some of the best herbal protocols. That's just in my opinion. And I can add them to the show notes later. I just forgot to now. So here, let me just go over. So Stephen Herr Bruner's an herbalist. Armin Labs, which I showed earlier, is diagnostic. And then Can Lyme is a great place with a lot of links to look at if you're in Canada. So
I'm taking herbal medicine right now. I'm taking 3
yeah.
charcoals, but they're my black pills. It's a bit of a joke because I'm such a black pilled person.
So that's an adjunct to what you're taking in order for your body to detox. Because some people get really sick especially if you had it for a while, they get really sick, called the Herxheimer effect. Anyway, so let's make the leap here. So when I ran the Lyme group here, People would try hyperbaric chambers. It worked for some, not others. People would try a dual antibiotic protocol. That would work for some and not others. What worked for me was actually anti-malarials, because Babesia was my big thing. So I was on hydroxychloroquine for years till I had hydroxychloroquine toxicity. So what I saw was a lot of people, and there does seem to be a question mark around this. And I think this is why it's so draining to the system, is the symptoms are very generalized and there's no one treatment that works for the masses. It seems to be really hit or miss. Any one treatment, whether the industrial medical complex or herbal or adjunct, like the hyperbaric chambers or like red light or like ozone therapy or whatever, it's about 10 to 20% just going down so it's like sort of a rolling success, and it's hard to tell what'll work for you. I've seen people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and still not get better. But what I would say, and what I said in my group, is I've never seen anybody get better if they don't change their diet.
Yeah, that's a good transition you've done there. I was just looking at the clock. We've been talking 30 minutes, but we have two big topics. One was kind of Lyme, and we're getting to the close. You're doing the transition. Okay, well, continue then. Let's transition.
I just think you can take as much antibiotics as you want, and you can do as much hyperbaric chambers as you want, but if you don't change the fuel that's in your body, then your body can't deal with the inflammation and move on in the healing process, or something like that. I don't know. People don't know. There really is a question mark around a lot of these diseases like EDS and Lyme disease and MS. It's like, well, why does this work for one and not the other? It's like, we don't know. We don't know. And a lot of people with Lyme end up in autoimmune, and why? I don't know.
Do you think, I think that sometimes people get some cancer, but then they fight it off, and very early on when it's just microscopic, and just because of good eating, maybe good energy, good vibes, all that stuff, or Lyme disease. I'm wondering if you can get Lyme, and then within a week or two, your body fights it off. Do you think that that's possible?
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of people who get it and they fight it off, or a lot of people who get it and take the 10 days and they're fine, or take the 21 days and they're fine and they never see it again. And I would say if you get it early, that's the majority. I think they're right in saying that. So there is a question mark of why don't some people get better? There's strep throat now that people are getting that's not showing up in the tests, because it's not strep. It looks like strep. It doesn't test positive for strep, but they can't get over it, and their tonsils are permanently swollen. Same with UTIs. So there's a whole big question mark in diseases that we don't really understand, and we don't really understand autoimmune. Breaking them down into what your immune system is attacking, to me, clearly isn't helpful. But when my aunt had breast cancer, the first thing that cancer doctor did, the oncologist said, is stop eating sugar. Sugar feeds cancer. And I think it's likely that sugar causes inflammation, but it also does maybe feed some of these parasites. So Borrelia burgdorferi is a spirochete, similar to syphilis. Has anybody told you that?
Nope. Hopefully it's gone, though. I just hope I'm better, man. I mean, we'll never know until I get sick again. I can't be tested ever again.
Well, I think you can set your body up to be the best, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So
yeah,
we've
consumption.
talked about barriers.
I have another transitionatory statement for our transition.
Yeah.
So based on everything we've been saying, we are incentivized to monitor our consumption of all things, food, also digital, so body, mind. The human beings, we are consuming many different things. Food, of course, we're going to probably talk about that a little. I have some fun information on gluttony, which is going to be very enlightening.
Okay.
Gluttony from the Bible, and some stuff on the extremes of eating too much and why we do that and what that's all about. And fasting, I think you're going to talk a little more about the fasting side of things, or in general, we'll talk about it. So just for some fun, but somewhere in my mind, and somewhere you got to find the middle. with
It
things.
sounds like you're talking about a polygluttony, right? So when we look back historically on the Bible, they're talking about food, but now we have like a digital diet gluttony where we're on all the time. We're a communications glutton where we have to be in contact with somebody all the time. And we sit all the time. So there's like these, if you could use gluttony across different modalities of things that we consume, then I'd say we are polygluttonous, not glots. Polyglots are somebody that knows a lot of languages. We're polygluts.
Yeah, that's interesting. well, let's.
So
I don't
let's
know
hear
how
your.
we're gonna start. How are we gonna start off here? I mean, do you want to talk about
Well,
gluttony a little bit, just to kind of like wade into this weird milieu that we've kind of? Because I think both of us are coming at this from kind of interesting different angles, and I'm interested to see where it's going to
actually,
go.
I'm really interested to hear yours because yours is sort of a historical look at gluttony from Thomas Aquarius, right?
Aquinas, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
Aquinas.
see. What do I got here? So Thomas Aquinas. Let me
You want to
read this.
share that, or do you want to just
No,
read it?
I'll just
There we
read
go.
it. It's short. It's short, yeah. It's just words.
Okay.
So there's 5 types of traditional gluttony that has been outlined by Pope Gregory I and Saint Thomas Aquinas. So whenever that was. And I'll read one sentence about each. So one is hastily, one is sumptuously, excessively, and 2 others. These categories focus on the manner and motive of consumption rather than just the amount of food. So first type of gluttony is hastily. So, and we'll talk about each of these maybe. Let's see. Eating too soon or at an inappropriate time, or eating too fast before others are ready. I would like to talk about this. Do you have anybody in your life who you cook a beautiful meal for, you sit down, and you've taken a lot of time? Maybe you've even picked the vegetables and all this shit, you know, I cook and I sit down and just stuff it down their face while talking about some inane bullshit. Does this ever happen to you?
Well, I think I might be that person now.
Okay, you're not invited for dinner because this actually drives me fucking crazy. I'm a chef, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry
Did you
about it. I'm a
just
chef. I'll go fucking
de-invite me
crazy if
for
you do this
dinner?
to me. What's that?
You just de-invited me for dinner.
Yeah, you're invited for dinner. But don't worry, I'll prepare some slop in a half-handed manner so you can just stuff it down your face. And it won't be anything beautiful that looks great, smells great, and it has a palatable wonder to it of textures and flavors. No, I will not prepare that for people who eat like this. I had a girlfriend one time. I'll just tell you. I had a girlfriend a while ago. Many, many, many years ago. Holy fuck. She would eat like that. She would... My plate was not even half gone every day. And she would just stuff it down there. And she'd talk. And I thought, I put so much work into this. And I think it's delicious. I would be thinking this. And look at the colors I've assembled. Like the red pepper just shines out and it tastes so good. And everything's just so beautifully prepared. And so this is a glutton. And I don't like it. So I thought that was
and I'm one now, and I don't like it.
Yeah, don't do that.
And I'm not trying to pick on myself, but I've in the last 3 years, you and I, like I've been talking about, I went from running 5 to 10K probably 3 times a week and lifting heavy weights, fully in menopause, being 50, to I can't get carbs and sugar in my face fast enough, and I feel like I've lost all control. Yeah.
You put on some weight, you're becoming a glutton.
40 pounds, yeah.
I get it. It's been a summer of gluttonous behavior for me and my wife too, because this is the summer of fuck it. That's what I call it. Like I want to do drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes, and whatever, all the ice cream that I want. I'm literally, I feel like I'm back from the brink of death twice in 1 year. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna be.
I want to live.
Is it hedonism where you just do whatever the fuck you want? Not to a satanic level. We're talking about moderation of a consumption here. So, you know, I'm being a little bit hedonistic, but I'm not a hedonist. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Sumptuously. There's a form of gluttony. I like this. Consuming food or drink that is too costly, luxurious, or exotic. Yeah, fancy fucking people at the restaurant. And I'll tell you something. I've worked in fancy restaurants, Michelin star restaurants, okay? That food is not that great. It comes in on the same shitty truck of beef from wherever. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah,
The ingredients, whatever. Who cares? Put enough salt on it and light the candles nicely, and put a sexy woman in a tight dress out there. People are gonna think that like this is they're in fucking heaven, and they're full of shit.
Well, let me
That's what
ask you this then, so you can to string this on in. I think we eat a lot of pseudo foods now. So I wouldn't say that I have a problem with food. I'm not pigging out on broccoli. I'm pigging out on breads and things I don't typically eat. So one thing is I was in
addictive.
ketosis for 12 years, so I'm probably super insulin sensitive.
You're
But
feeding
when
yeast.
we
You're feeding
well,
yeast.
and a different bacteria and insulin sensitive. But it's probably multifactorial. But when I hear you say sumptuous, I think pseudo foods, and then my mind goes to food sciences where they are creating these foods to be that there's
Yeah.
the bliss point, the perfect salt
Yes.
and sugar
Yes.
and fat recipe that makes, well, one, it hijacks your brain, so nothing in your body ever says you're full. You're
Yeah.
never
Stop. Yeah.
full. And that's how I feel like now. And I don't want to pick on myself, but I do
No.
want to be honest.
Yeah.
When I eat meat and when I'm in ketosis, there's a clear stop. When I eat carbs and pseudo foods, there's no stop. I
Yeah.
can be feeling sick. I'm so full and still be shoveling it in my mouth,
Oh,
right?
dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not just about willpower. There is a whole science and billion-dollar industry there to keep you eating. So
Yeah.
when I hear sumptuous, I hear that's where the food sciences lay.
Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Do you remember the motto of Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No.
Finger licking good. People who lick and suck their fingers after a meal, like, to me, this is a deplorable behavior.
Do you remember Doritos?
Oh, of course.
Bet you can't
people
eat
licking,
just one?
yeah. And there's people who lick their Doritos. They lick off the poison off the Dorito. Then they can. It's just like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
one thing I don't
This
want
has
to eat.
stirred up a bunch of spiritual stuff. Like the dinner table is not a place to fuck around. In my opinion.
Yeah, I better
In my
get my
opinion.
shit together. I'm never going to your house.
Yeah, my plate. No, it's not even like that. I just don't. Gluttony bothers me, and now the more I read about it, the more I'm realizing it. I am a glutton also. I could talk about myself, dude. Okay, we'll move on after I tell you about my chips. I get the big bag of chips twice a week usually because I try to keep it to Sundays, but I've digressed to twice a week. I ate the whole bag in one sitting.
Yeah, my husband
oh
too.
my god! Like the big bag, really? Whatever happened to the one small bag for a snack?
And do you feel sick when you're done?
I don't want to talk about my toilet traditions or whatever.
We'll just say yes or no to the sick part, and we'll leave it to the imagination.
Yeah, it's poison. It's fucking it's poison. It's poison. That's what it is. I'm poisoning myself with one large bag of chips twice per week. So we made a pact. We made a pact just yesterday. No more chips, but we've made this pact numerous times.
We have zucchini. Zucchini chips are nice.
Nah, I don't want it. I want the greasy stuff. Okay, so let's move. Let's talk about excessively. We're gonna get through this.
Well, that's definitely
excessive.
People,
so eating or
know.
drinking, and this is going to take it out. These guys also are taking it out of just food. So this is not just food. All of this either, and slowly we're going to deviate out of the food and more into the spiritual, actually, which I find so interesting. Eating or drinking a quantity that is too much for the body's actual needs. I think everybody gets it. We don't need to linger here. Our society is based on this one: excess.
Right.
We get it. Okay, so greedily is the next one. This sounds like a really bad one because greed is also one of the deadly sins. So is gluttony. Eating with too much eager passion, excitement, or refusing to share. I had a friend. I know this guy. He's not my friend anymore. He thinks I'm a fascist because I didn't wear a mask. So he can go fuck himself if he ever hears this. I know a guy who used to be a friend. His wife made a beautiful pie, and we were playing Dungeons and Dragons one day with others. And he was sat there eating this gigantic slice of pie. And I said, could I have a bite of that? He said, what, this? With an angry look in his face. I said, well, just a taste. Because he takes tastes of my pizza and chips. Oh, you got chips? Give me some of those. And he just eats some. You know what? This guy, all 5 of these, that's him. So like what? No, not even a taste of the crust or anything. Give me a fucking bite. Jesus. And I feel like I'm overly passionate about this topic. I'm sorry. And
No, I mean,
makes me
you
sick.
are very passionate about it. It's good. But it's also when I look at these things here, and look at it in a modern context, I can see how much of them. So at this time, there wouldn't be food sciences. You ate to live, and you were just thankful you weren't starving to death. So these would be a real sin when the majority of the population is starving to death. But now this is a way of life, and this is like a corporative consumer repeat business idea where they want you addicted. Because I think it's easy to say that fat people just need more willpower, but I don't think that's true. I mean,
Yeah,
like heroin has been made from the poppy to be stronger and more addictive, food is like that now too.
that's right.
And it provides your body with so little nutrients, but so much inflammation that you want to keep putting it in. And food sciences has learned how to hijack the whole system. And and I feel sorry because you can also tell that your brain isn't working right. So to make a new good decision when you're 400 pounds and you have to move that bulk around is very difficult. I
Hmm.
don't think bariatric surgery is the answer. They lie about how often that doesn't work. Even the banding doesn't work. I
Hmm.
Ozempic has side effects. So does a lot of things, right? But the good news is in a grid down situation, I've got granola bars strapped under my skin, and I could last longer, maybe. I don't know. I would think there was a lighter side to that. But I can see as you're going through these. So you've said hastily, excessively, sumptuously, greedily, and I
Hmm.
look at excessive, the family packs that, when you look at a Coke used to be a little bottle like that, and now it's a super big gulp.
Yeah.
Hastily, fast food, sumptuously. Look at how much commercials are food attached to sex, even, right? And then I look at the pseudo foods. They're made to hijack every part of your brain, but they also hijack your hormones.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Oh
God
yeah,
knows with these
like
chemicals.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like the fatter women are in the belly, the more their hormones are off kilter. But with guys, it's the same too. Especially if you have a lot of belly weight, one, it makes your penis smaller because it puts pressure on a certain tendon. But two, I think that especially fatty foods tend to hijack foods, alcohol, and tobacco seem to hijack men's hormonal system. Like testosterone's in the shitter, and greedily too, right? It's that you bet you can't eat just one, and it's designed so you can't just eat one.
So there's forces against us. This is the
Yeah.
important message. This is the message of the raft for people to take away. There are
Mm-hmm.
forces against us, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
weaponized ticks or weaponized food designed to destroy you, okay? Mentally, spiritually, and physically.
Well,
Those
medication.
forces are out there, whether or not they're market driven alone or not, or it's intentional. It doesn't matter. These seven deadly sins, they sell, don't they?
Yeah.
Because this is Satan's world. I'm not a Christian. I'm goofing around. But in some sense, hey, I'm on the fucking cusp of being a Christian at this point. Since 2020, I
Mm-hmm.
understand evil now. That's why I'm saying all this stuff. Of
Me
course, it
too.
might be a weapon. There's evil people.
Yeah.
They're all over the place, actually.
Yeah.
So we need a sense of enlightened self-control
Yeah.
through information and understanding and wisdom
Yeah.
of these dark forces are there, and stop fucking kidding yourself. First of all, that would be the good start. Don't kid yourself anymore, and start to
Mm-hmm.
pay attention. Can I stop eating these chips? Can I? Well, I'm going to try, because you know
Yeah.
what? I think I'm supposed to. I have to try. But knowing, and this is, I'm also an addict, recovering addict. And I guess one of the addicts' philosophy also is like, even if you can't stop doing those drugs, knowing that you have to, that you're sick, you got a problem, I think that that's important too. I can't stop eating the chips, but I know it's a problem. So helpful advice, but I think straightforward. And I think people know it already.
Right.
But the system is sinking. It wants to destroy humans. This is not a human system. It's anti-human. Look at the technology, and we're going to get into that maybe later. Oh my God. We're doomed unless we do it ourselves and build our own fucking raft. Get away from
Yeah.
it somehow. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. You can't change the system. No, you cannot change the system. Not anymore. It's a panopticon. It's done. It's here. Go ahead.
So we got through 4: hasty, excessive, sumptuous, and greedily. What's 5? Because I think that one's going to shock me a bit.
Yeah, this is actually very interesting. Actually, daintily, being overly picky, demanding that food be prepared with excessive fuss, precision, or rare quality. You know what? I think that this is me. This really speaks to me. That's me, man. I got a problem here. No, it's not that bad. It's just that, like, now that I grow my own food, like, we are in abundant vegetable land on my property right now. It's early August, and any home gardener knows that this is the time of extreme abundance. All the tomatoes are coming in, the zucchinis, the herbs, everything, carrots, beets, the whole fucking thing's happening. And now that I'm living in this state, which I've built with my wife over the past 5 or 6 years, it's like restaurant. No way. What? Go to the grocery store? Where the fuck are these things from? What's sprayed on it? What country are they from? Why did they have to bring carrots from the other side of the planet? I can grow a carrot in my backyard. Why is there not Nova Scotia carrot farms? You know what? All these questions start to come to mind. This makes me picky, or maybe not picky, but enlightened self-control. I don't know why I keep saying that. I wrote that down just a while ago. Enlightened, so you got to get enlightened about the information that they're trying to kill you, first of all, and then make your steps from there, I think. That's important.
Well, I would say daintily, I am scared now to eat at your house. I don't want to do any faux pas.
Here's the thing. If I try, I can make something really nice. And sometimes I do if I have the time or the energy or whatever. But usually it's just a big, like yesterday I made a pot of spaghetti sauce. Sounds simple, but we had like mushrooms we picked from the forest, black chanterelles, our own garlic. Everything we fucking grew here, except for a can of tomato sauce from the organic section. You know, that's we buy organic stuff from the store. We're those types. So I'm guessing maybe I'm picky, but you know, I don't trust the food system. Okay? I don't trust it.
Yeah.
The fucking grocery store, I walk in there, I'm thinking, let's stay on the outside with the meat and the milk and the dairy and the butter and yogurt. Stay on the outside. Everything in the middle, don't even go there. Just stay away from it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't look at it.
I'm picky.
It is interesting to me, too, that that so many people are struggling with this simultaneously and feel like things are different for them. Like, I meet a number of women that are postmenopausal like myself that said I was fine until these last 2 or 3 years. And now all my joints hurt. I've lost all control. I feel like I can't get certain foods in my face fast enough, you know, and when you hear it around, my inclination is to go that there's probably something environmental. I think the Wi-Fi going through us, and in fact, the power couple did one. I couldn't find it to put in the show notes, but maybe people want to look back. They did the connection between like dirty electricity penetrating our body and obesity. So I think there's a because it's now multifactorial, I think there's a lot of things that people are fighting in this realm, and I think even say you don't make it through the day eating right or whatever. What I want to say to people is don't give up. The struggle is also important. Like, you're a Buddhist /
I'm a Buddhist. I'm capital B Buddhist, and I don't care anymore. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm doing a podcast, you know, and I've done a podcast for the last 2 years. And I was kind of, when you do a podcast, you try to just keep things personal about your religion and all, you know, there's no point in talking about it, but slowly things have leaked out over I've honest conversations with people. So I'm just going to come out of the closet right now. I'm a big B Buddhist, and everyone can go fuck off if they don't like it. Okay, go ahead.
So why don't we do a list? Like, you've done a list here of seeing it through a lens, maybe a historical lens of like why food can, like, where are the things the bigger paradigms that are at work here. And I think it's still really relevant, but I wouldn't mind making a list of things other than food that can really affect your weight and your ability to control yourself. And one of them is light. You know, there's a great book called Lights Out that talks about how being exposed to blue light all the time has led to infertility and also weight gain. when we're on screens all the time, our bodies, especially in this northern hemisphere where there's a huge difference in light in the summer and blue light in the summer than winter, I only get about 5.5 hours of light in the winter here. And the more north you go, there's no light. When you're on your screen, even in the winter, your body's being told it's summer, eat carbs.
Mm,
It's
mhm.
summer, eat carbs, and so and then that pushes your hormone profile over the edge, and then you get into that polycystic ovary where is it insulin or is it hormones? Is it insulin or it's hormones? It's hard to get out. The other thing is we're a highly, highly medicated society, and most of the medications, specifically antidepressants and all the mental health ones, cause weight gain. And you can almost look at men and tell when it's been those because it's like a tire around your belly. It's a certain type of weight gain that they have that you can clearly tell is interrupting their hormonal profile.
Mm.
Hormones affect it. Everybody is hormonally dysregulated now. Marketing. Oh, this one drives me nuts. Tell me about this, David. Kids' food.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's all sugar. And it starts from the time they're born. The first food you feed them is a carb.
Yeah, I've had the displeasure of renting a room when I was like in my early 20s in a house with a family, two kids, and one was very young, but one, the terrible twos style kid.
Mhm.
They would feed him. Oh, his cheeks were bursted out like a chipmunk with like
That.
candies and
Mm.
sweets and gum. And I thought, this is, and he was running around like a fucking maniac. Okay.
Mhm.
It was freaky, man. And then they would scream at him and discipline him and spank him. And he would say, fuck you, mom. And all like, this is a 2-year-old kid gone complete. But you know what? Also, well, the father also said, fuck you to the mother also. So this was not a good living situation. But anyway, sugar. Yeah.
Mhm.
Completely disruptive to the family also in general. Can I backtrack just a little and bring something
Yep.
else up about this overconsumption, this passion to consume, the passion to fucking consume. So in the Bible, gluttony is defined as a lack of self-control, overindulgence, and putting physical appetites above God, often tied to laziness and poverty. Scripture addresses this behavior mainly as a matter of the heart and failure to practice moderation. In the Bible, it says in Proverbs, it warns against feasting on too much meat or wine, stating that drunkards and gluttons end up in poverty and rags. Advises extreme self-control, also the Bible does, using the symbolic phrase, quote, to put a knife to your throat, end quote, to if you have a big appetite. So if you have a big appetite, you're putting a knife to your own throat. Wow, the Bible doesn't split hairs.
Mhm.
What else we got? Two more. In Philippians in the Bible, 3:19, it says, it speaks of people whose, quote, God is their belly, end quote, meaning they let physical desires control their lives instead of honoring God. And finally, Deuteronomy, my favorite because it sounds like dude, links links a rebellious or stubborn son to being a glutton. So yeah, self-control. One more thing. The Bible views self-control as a key virtue and a fruit of the spirit, meaning a lack of restraint with food points to a broader struggle with discipline. Idolatry of food, overeating or living for physical pleasure can turn food into an idol, replacing the spiritual satisfaction meant to come from God. I think this is the kicker for me. Spiritual
Yeah.
satisfaction. There's none of it in the
Expand.
world anymore. There's no spiritual satisfaction in this fucking
Yeah.
nihilistic Western technological cusp of fascism world that we live in. This is the
Mhm.
problem. This is why we eat too much. This is why we're addicts. We're not full of spirit.
Yeah, and you wonder if that's why most religions have some sort of fasting or food regulation written into their rituals.
Good transition. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You were when we were talking about doing this podcast. You brought up fasting.
yeah.
So this is the extreme other end, and it's supposed to be good for you. But one could argue, is it an extreme? What if you had enlightened self-control? What if you had moderation through your life, and we're a little picky and ate the right stuff, grow it yourself if you can. What if you did this all the time? Would you have to fast?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. I think so because there's a process of your body called autophagy, and you can only it's almost like your body cannot focus on healing if it's digesting, and that's what it's saying in the spiritual world. You can't focus on God if you're doing these things, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm
and
bloated. Oh, I'm so bloated. Oh, I'm so bloated. After a meal, is this what you're saying? Yeah, I think that's indicative.
one of the most interesting things I ever did was a 3 week fast, no food fast. I drank, and I broke it on the solstice in a sweat lodge. And I could probably do it now. I could easily live off my fat for 3 weeks. I'm even fatter now than I was then. But the other thing that I did was a enema during that time, and having my body be totally empty was the weirdest feeling because I had never, ever had that ever before.
Yeah.
That feeling of nothing in there, it's not doing anything. And I went into that sweat lodge, and I swear I went to another universe,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Oh, this is big stuff, man. Like I'm big into the
Mhm.
Indian stuff, the old Buddhism and things like this fasting and this yoga and laying around on hot rocks, not eating food for 100 years and
Yeah.
living to be 200 and all this weird stuff these yogis are doing. Yeah, there's something definitely to that through like nothingness and emptiness is a part of.
Hmm.
I've done so much meditation and I've been on really deep meditation retreats. Well, I even tried to be a monk a couple of times. So I went hardcore into meditation for
Hmm.
a time in my 20s and 30s. And I'll tell you, I also, in my mind, what you describe about your body, I felt the
Hmm.
same thing in my mind. Like think
Yeah.
thoughts could almost not even manifest. And
You know,
sometimes it felt good, but sometimes it felt very scary, actually.
I've wondered periodically, like when we talk about parasites or weight loss, I've always said to people, not always, since I've known what I've known, I've said it's a spiritual battle, both parasites and weight loss, that you have to integrate. There's something spiritually detoxifying about weight loss. And the other thing is, fat isn't just calories, it's also toxicity roundup, right? So if you're exposed to a whole lot of shit, your body will sequester it in the fat. And when you lose weight, it comes out, and it can come out as emotions too. Some people store their baggage there, right? And so when we look at both, it's funny how this is coming up now, and I'm just putting it back out there, is when I look at Lyme, and you have to have a edifying spiritual process to get out and away from that, because it's
Yeah.
almost like the spirochetes take over. And I think there's a lot of parasites like that, including toxoplasmosis, which you can get from cats. It can really change who the fuck you are, right? That's why there's actually people in MMA fighters and stuff giving themselves toxoplasmosis, because it makes you less risk averse. So these
Wow.
things that change you are spiritual. That's your soul.
Yep.
That's your soul.
You gotta have good vibes. If you got bad
Yeah.
vibes, you're gonna get sick and you're gonna get fucked up. You good vibes.
Yeah.
And it
So I
comes down to
think
that.
what I'm also saying is, as you lose weight, or with you, as you try and battle Lyme, you have to have a spiritual process where you're
Oh my God,
connecting with
yeah.
something greater than yourself. You have to ask for help, and you have to deal with what's coming up. You have to have like a sweat lodge protocol, or a prayer, or a ritual, or a candle, or whatever you have that allows you to, I hate to use like new agey terms, but ground yourself, or reinvent yourself, or stabilize
I think
yourself.
that I know this spiritual talk. I know I hate it. We've all been subverted. Our whole society. We're all gluttons. We all eat too much. We're all addicted to everything, and also
Hmm.
we're all shy about spirituality. Okay, you know what? I think that we need to bring back the word religion and just stop cutting fucking hairs. There's a moral ethic to the universe. Pick a fucking
Hmm.
religion and go with it. It's been done. People walked the path for you. You're gonna
Hmm.
cut your own path spiritually today, like my flaky
Hmm.
shaman friends who I used to hang out with during the ecstasy years, taking
Mm.
hallucinogenics and telling me how great it is and I should do it. And they're experiencing enlightened shit and all this stuff, seeing colors and lights and hallucinating. I thought, guys,
Mm.
like, I don't know what this path for me.
Mm.
I think I went off the track of where we were headed.
No, I don't think so. I think they're, well, it's interesting because we talked before when we had that young fellow on about hallucinogens that when you take them, the interesting thing about them is you evacuate everything in your gut. You get the shits, right? Some people even puke. So to me, it's like intuitively, if you're taking an entheogen, there is something that's trying to tell you. And I think one of the things is you also can spiritually seek that depth while you're digesting. You can't heal, you can't seek that depth. And then there's something about the reconstitution of your biome that's left after that. So once you take an entheogen, I feel like you can't have screens after that, and you've got to watch the food that you have too.
Yeah, with religions and spirituality and stuff, like if it's something really good for you, it's core, whatever, you can lean on it. Go for
Yeah.
refuge there when things are dark, and that's a real Buddhist thing. Is that it's called refuge. When you become a Buddhist, you go through a ceremony, and it's called taking
Hmm.
refuge vows. So I took the refuge vows. So just for the
Oh,
refuge, this concept of all religions, whatever, you can lean on it. So during the height of my Lyme psychosis and everything that was going on just last month, I thought I gotta
yeah.
just meditate. I just gotta meditate a little. So I sat down in a little chair and I thought I'm just gonna meditate a little, and I couldn't. I was unable
Yeah.
to just flick that switch in my mind where you just kind of chill. It's the chill switch. And I've trained in
Mm,
meditation in a big way, okay? And I can flip the switch anytime. Not if I'm in a
mm,
big rage and stuff, it takes some time to flip the switch. But I don't
right.
go in rages. Really, I just don't. Unless I'm
Oh,
at
I do.
school, unless I'm having Lyme
I
psychosis and
have
I'm at
Lyme
school.
rage.
Yeah,
I
I
have
had
Lyme
Lyme too, man.
rage.
I drove this school
Hmm.
crazy. I drove that school
Hmm.
crazy, but their wokeism really bugged me. And anyway, stay on track. Yeah,
Hmm.
I got so much
Right.
energy because of that. I'm clear of Lyme. Like I'm fucking full of energy. It's crazy. I feel young.
Hmm.
I really do. I'm 48.
Right.
I feel 30. Not always,
Really?
but I think that these topics and these things are really jazzing me up.
Yeah.
We gotta get better, man. And our podcast, the Riff Raff, is kind of we're trying. I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not fucking anything. I'm a gardener. But
Yeah.
if we're gonna do a podcast and use this technological evil that we're using right now,
Hmm.
can we do anything good? We're trying to offer something if we can.
Well, and in the process, like trying to make ourselves better, and
Mm.
so and we're leaning on other people, and I can see other like people podcasts and businesses doing it, and I'd like to bring up Jamie Paquin, who's a friend of ours, and he's at Pattern Shift, and he's actually doing a free like food and health seminar
Mm.
next week,
Oh,
Wednesday at
is there a link in the show
six.
notes?
Yep, there's a link in the show notes. It's 6 our time. It's free, and maybe it's a good place to start, right? Like the thing about health and that we keep coming back to is you're your own best prep, right?
Mhm.
So if you are your own best prep and you can't walk from here to there, or um, you're in a grid down system, and this is actually how I got into fasting, was the fella from Alone. So Brenda Holder and her husband, whose name I can't remember, but his last name is Holder. He was the guy that worked on that TV show Alone.
Oh yeah.
And he looked at fasting and what happened to people when they didn't eat and didn't have access to food. And that's actually what the first few fasts I did, including that long 3 week one where I only did um, tea and water and a bit of bone broth. It was for him. I wanted to know what my body was going to do in a grid down system. So it's not just health. You should know what's going to happen to you. And what I found out for me was during that first 3 days, my mind just got hyper fixated on food, and after that it let go.
Mhm.
But after a week I started having less energy, but after 2 weeks
Mhm.
I had no energy. I
Mhm.
really had to try and
That's too much.
regulate what I was going to do. Yeah, I
That's too
didn't think
much.
so.
Three
I
weeks.
like,
Wow.
the thing about when I was quite healthy is I would do things like that to try and push my body to the limit. So I was getting treatment in Arizona, which, by the way, we lost our savings doing that. You know,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Thanks, Canada, for nothing. But anyways, getting treatment in Arizona, it really helped. And so I did a 1 week fast, and then I climbed Camelback Mountain,
Oh yeah.
fasted.
Oh yeah.
And man, like I was dizzy at the top, but it was like, holy crap, my body did that. My body did that. And the one thing that it did was it gave me, which I don't have right now, it gave me security and stability in myself. It's like, holy fuck, my body after years of being sick can do a lot more than I give it credit for. Because I often get into this, my body's a Judas, my body's let me down. I make jokes about having a body transplant, you know, and
Well,
things like
that's no
that.
longer a
And
joke, man. You're gonna have that. Elon Musk is gonna have that ready for you in just a few short years, Limina. You can
oh
put your
my
brain
gosh,
into or just put your mind into a robot. Actually, that'd make it
yeah,
easy. Then you can
yeah.
come on over for dinner, and your new robot self. And
Well,
then fuck you.
and we have to remember that we are the consume we are the new corporate. We are both the product and the consumer of the product. So make people as sick as possible, get them as addicted as possible, and then they provide both the thing you're addicted to or the
Yeah.
thing you got sick on and the remedy, right? I feel like we're all living out that, not requiem
What's
for
more
a
what's more
dream, that
evil?
Philip K. Dick book.
So I would like the audience to comment below. What is more evil? Making human beings, men, women, and children, and the elderly sick, horribly ill, keep them alive, and use them to make money, or to just exterminate a whole population? What's more evil? A or B? I'd like to know. Just to gauge
Well,
where we are with history. Okay.
if I had to say, I would say, and please comment below because I want to hear what people would say. I think listen, nobody wants a long-term cancer. They want to die in their sleep because we
Yeah.
all know that the end of the life suffering is fucking awful. And we all know now that we're just being kept around so people can make the most
This is
money
and this is
off
part of the
us.
spiritual thing too. Like on your life raft, people, if you have good spiritual grounding, death, you're gonna say, you
Yeah.
know what? When you're on your deathbed, you're gonna say, could you stop giving me these pills? Just stop trying to keep me
Yeah.
alive. Stop, stop, stop. I'm fucking dying, and I'm ready. No problem. I prepared
Mm-hmm.
for it, and I'm ready, and I know where I'm going. Whether you're wrong or right doesn't fucking matter. It's called faith.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. I believe I'm going to reincarnate, so I'm getting ready for that in my own way,
Mm-hmm.
and there are practices for which to do that. But that's esoteric Buddhism. And whether I go to hell or heaven, I don't fucking know. And honestly, I don't quite care right now in this particular moment. I'm trying to be the
Mm-hmm.
best I can be. And that gives me faith the future will be brighter.
Mm-hmm.
If I allow myself to just be a fucking disgusting, I don't know what. I don't know, man. People are hijacked. They have the digital brain. People don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to self-monitor what's going on. Get off the fucking social media. Put the cell phone in a drawer. Leave it there.
Right.
No,
Right.
I got a new cell phone, and dude, I can't fucking plug earphones into it. It has so much stuff going on this thing. I have no idea what any of these things are. These words, AI keeps popping up every time I try to like plug something in there to listen to music. AI pops
Mm-hmm.
up. And I can't turn it off. I tried. I really did try. I don't think I can. And it's like, you know what, society, go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, and that's not Lyme speaking, but I did feel that way with Lyme, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
I was looking into Satanism so deeply for my podcast too, researching Satanism and interviewing
Yeah.
people about it, and I thought, I gotta stop this, man.
Well, I think it is evil. I don't know about satanic. I don't throw that word along, but to
Well,
purposely
Satanism
make people
reverses
sick so
reality.
you can, yeah, so you can make money is disgusting, right? Like you just even look at food sciences, really that's there to make in the bliss point to
Hmm.
make people eat as much as possible, to hijack every part of their natural body so that they buy more of your product. It's just, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, stupid.
You know, same with medications too, right? Same with surgeries. They know that this gastric bypass doesn't work very well for a lot of people. They know that these people aren't thinking properly, but you know what? They can make a few bucks off of them. And I do think that there is something spiritual,
Here's a helpful
about,
tip. Here's a helpful
yeah,
tip. After your next meal, sit back
yeah,
and think, how do I feel? In fact, pay attention. What do I say after I'm done? When
yeah,
you're finished, push your plate away and say something, even just to
yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Fuck, I'm bloated. Or my God, that was salty. Or you know what? I feel just great. Those ingredients were very wonderful. I put a lot of work into
yeah,
that. And you know what? It's digesting just right. And I didn't eat too much of it. I feel like I could eat more. My tongue really wants to. This is a Buddhist thing. Well, a guy told me this. It's not a Buddhist thing, but it's a way to monitor and work with your self control. Does your tongue want the chips? Does your brain want the chips?
mm,
Or does your stomach? The stomach absolutely does not. No, right now in this moment, I want chips, but my brain and my tongue does. I'm fucking salivating, but I
yeah,
don't want
for
it in my
you.
body. I don't want it in my body. So you see how this works?
Hmm.
It's sick. So I think a good way you got to start paying attention and monitor that. So after every meal, think, did I need that? Or just, I don't know, just pay attention. That's all I'm suggesting. Just pay attention and you can learn a lot.
Hmm.
That's it. Boy, I'm
It's
full of
very,
helpful tips.
yeah, yeah, and I guess maybe you could talk a bit about the all cultural nature of breaking bread together. So there's a fasting component to most religions and the spiritual self. There's also a fasting component to health, right? Reaching that time of healing, that autophagy. But there's also a spiritual part of breaking bread together and being able to eat together and just be a part of each other's lives. You were talking about that when you kindly said you would never have me for dinner, which you're never gonna live down.
Yeah, that's really
Um,
bad. That's bad. I said that. It's so rude of a thing to say. Because even though I don't I actually kind of don't like people. I am not easy to be a friend to, and I don't make friends easily. And I don't actually have any friends. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, I know people, but whatever. No one ever comes to my house for dinner. It's me and my wife here. That's it, ever. And maybe that's a bit of my problem. I think that she would probably want to bring people. She never asks. She's Buddhist too, so Buddhists are like whatever. Who cares? Like not Buddhists
mhm,
don't make a big deal. A good Buddhist won't make a big deal. A bad Buddhist
mhm.
will become a vegan and spray paint your fur coat. Okay, religion is not a solution to anything. People got to fix themselves through using different templates. Buddhism is a
Right.
template. Christianity is a template. If it's going to make you into a wholesome human being, good. I like you.
Hmm.
But find me one.
Hmm.
Around here, they're all sick
Yeah.
with Lyme. They're not wholesome. They're all sick. And I'm actually kidding, but no, I'm serious now. I'm thinking about it. People around
Well,
me
and I
are
guess.
not healthy mentally, socially. Since COVID, I've seen like
Hmm.
something's going on with people.
Well, dang.
It broke their spirit. I think COVID was the spiritual straw that broke
Mhm.
Western society's back.
Mhm.
These people are trapped now in a gaslit prison forever.
And you can see that people have really changed, like in their makeup, but also how they interact with each other and how they interact with us. And I'll feel like sometimes the non-vaccinated are a reminder of how you surrendered yourself, and how you didn't believe enough. It always surprised me how many faith-filled people didn't find any strength in God and gave in,
Yeah, sure. Of course.
and
Well, my
yeah.
mom was in Marystown, Newfoundland. Oh, I shouldn't give away too much. My mom was in Newfoundland. She lives in
Mm-hmm.
Marystown. It's fine. She grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
And her church, she went there with her friends, and the priest asked to see her vaccine passport, which she
Mm-hmm.
had. She took the vax. She took Moderna. I had my mom on my podcast, and I think the episode is still up. I might have taken it down. I've taken
Mm-hmm.
down some recently where I thought this is not good. But my mom came on my podcast, and I asked her all about her vaccine. Which one did you take? She took Moderna twice, and she had violent vomiting for months.
Gross.
That fucking vax almost killed my mother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, are we going to take control of ourselves or not?
Mhm.
No one is going to lead us anywhere unless we just take the reins and do it. And that's the raft.
Mhm. Well, if you're looking to Health Canada or Nabisco or or
Nestle.
even
Nestle.
yeah, or PETA to tell you that, or this plant-based bullshit,
Oh my God.
if you're looking to those to help you be healthy, um, I don't think it's going to work. And so you've got to try and error and actually just take responsibility for yourself. And that's probably something, that I have to take to heart too. I feel like I've lost myself in food and excuses, right? And that's not the person that I am.
I've purged social media from my life successfully.
Yeah.
I don't use it. I don't have any. No,
Hmm.
I find myself on YouTube a lot now because you get that urge, I guess. Like, oh, yeah. And
Hmm.
it's so horrible. YouTube is so stupid that it doesn't keep me there
Hmm.
that long.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have social media, and man, it's been great. It's great.
Yeah. There is nothing that anybody is saying that I, really
I
want
know
to
it's
hear, although I did find out about the data centers around me on it, but it's like, what can you do? There's no win with the data centers. Even if you stand that data center down, that corporation's not going to be like, you know what, guys, you're right. This is a health hazard. We've decided not to build it. It's going to be built somewhere and be somebody else's problem.
yep.
And there's so many of them being proposed in Alberta that you
I know.
can't get away from them. So we
Yep.
got to focus on, I think the one thing about health where you can't go wrong, like physical health and food and mental health and getting off the medications that you don't need and dealing with your emotions, is that you're setting yourself up to deal with the challenges that are being perpetrated on us, like the dirty energy, like the shitty food, like the poor water quality, like the everything, like the cloud, they just cloud seeded over us, the weather muff, all of that. The healthier body is, the more capable it is. And that's actually how I got better from Lyme. The Better Health guy is a really great individual for health, not just Lyme. And one of the things he said, and I took it to heart, is you can't kill your way to health, which means you can't just kill Lyme and be like, oh, I'm healthy now, even though I'm
Right.
400 pounds or whatever. You have to have a healthy body. And so that's his thing. So I started looking at all these 100-mile runners, and I'm like, well, if they do these IVs and they do this supplement and they do red light therapy and they can run 100 miles,
Yep.
maybe if I do it, I could just get out of bed and cook a meal
Yeah.
without losing consciousness and falling on the floor. Maybe I could just
Yeah.
get control of my right arm.
Yeah.
And I
Sure.
tell you, it worked.
Okay. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really worked for
Interesting.
a long time. I just supported my body to fight the battle for me.
Mhm.
And I can see the decline, like as I gain weight. Like I hit menopause in the first 5 years, I was fine. As I get fatter, it gets worse, or my joint pain, and people are like, oh, well, pretty at any size. It's like, that's a lie. That's marketing. That fat is only about how you look and who you attract is a fucking lie.
Mm.
It's about health.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof. A lot came to
Yeah,
mind when you were talking.
tell me.
I'm
I'm
just
always
thinking,
talking.
well, I know. You got a big mouth. That's why.
I've heard.
Now I have a big mouth that I'm not a Lyme victim.
Yeah.
That like, if she didn't test me for a lot, like when I went to see the doctor that day, I went because of a sore knee and extreme
Yeah.
fatigue. That's why I went. I always had
Yeah.
Lyme and I had things in the back of my mind, but very, very in the far back. MS, because my dad had it. Lyme.
Yeah.
Lyme was not even that much in my mind because I didn't know. I had no idea of the symptoms to look for, even though everyone is terrified of ticks all around me. Ticks, ticks, ticks all day
Mm-hmm.
long, as everyone fucking talks about. No one knows about the symptoms to look for, though. Thanks, media, whatever. Anyway, they just want to make us all
Yeah.
scared. Anyway, so I said to her during the conversation, she was typing on the computer because I said AI is not allowed to listen, so she had to type it all herself. So she was typing. And she looked over at me. And so I said, what are you typing there? Am I going to do a test? What's wrong? She said, I'm sending you for a blood test. Maybe you're low on iron. There's reasons for fatigue. And depression is a big one. And she looked straight at me. Depression's a big one. And she really was interested in the depression too. We talked about that a lot. And I said, I said, I'm depressed. You know what? But I always am. It's normal. I have a baseline depression my whole life. I like it. It's not going anywhere. And you know what? It's perfectly fine. It's okay. And, but I told her too much about it because as she was typing, they tick all the boxes, like check for iron, check for this, that, to send to the blood person. And she looked over at me and she said, I can test you for Lyme if you want me to. I said, yes, please. If I didn't mention Lyme in our conversation very casually, I was like, I think I got maybe Lyme or something. Like I could have said, I think I have MS or something, but I said Lyme. This is divine intervention. Right. I believe it really is. I didn't go there for. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Think how many people are misdiagnosed with how much stuff, and if you don't know the root of the problem, you can't get help.
Jesus, if she didn't check that box, she would have come back and said, "You're a little low in iron. You're a little low in this, that. You need a little more magnesium. Let's get you some antidepressants." And I would have been off to the fucking, I don't know, suicide road, probably. Yeah. Or wherever. Yeah. Just a hindrance on society, a drag on the system, a drag on the family, a drag on everything.
That's what I feel like I am. Yeah.
Right now? Yeah. No. Or you were when you had Lyme?
No. I put in 10 and 12-hour days. So no matter how chubby I am or how much pain, I get out there and get going. And I'm thankful for that. But for a long time, especially when I could not get out of bed and I could not wake up, like even when I was awake, you do start wishing for death. And I think there is something sticky about death, that when you work too much with death or you think about it too much, that it pulls little pieces of you to the other side, and you got to be very careful.
Oh man, there's a very deep, and I'm no expert in this, but I just get the sensation that there's a very deep human impulse to suicide. Very dark. The subconscious mind is so deep. And actually, I believe, well, the Buddha believed that there's a subconscious mind, but there's also there's a basement to the subconscious mind, even deeper down in there. And this is where your real impulses are coming from, and the karmic drivers, why we do things we can't explain. Why can't I stop eating these fucking chips? Why? There's no answer. But deep in the dark recesses of your subconscious mind, there's a problem.
Well, let me ask you something. On a spiritual level is, I understand there is suffering. I think suffering and adversity are good for you, even if it doesn't feel good in the emotions. But I've been wondering to myself that I have become very resentful. Resentful of the government, very resentful of the people around me, very resentful of my old friends, very resentful of the old people that abandoned me. Like not just me, but me and my husband or their friends. Like even if it's not about me, what people did during COVID and what people did to me during Lyme, right? Is you were a big faker if you couldn't get better, right? Like these chronic illnesses are way more accepted now, but then it was like you just weren't doing enough. Why don't you just do what do you mean you can't get up? Everybody can get up, and over time it's led into resentment. And when I hear you say that deeper level of why you do something, I do wonder if there is a connection between that deep-seated resentment I have now and my movement away from personal health.
I'm not going to give a lecture or do a sermon on the power of karma and how the West has no idea what really karma is and how it operates. But it's very strong, powerful force that drives everything. Period. Right. Okay. This is my opinion and my belief. The Buddha said it. And in my experience, I think it's true. But it wasn't just that the Buddha said, they believed that before he was even born. And the ancient world in the Eastern regions, reincarnation, karma, and all that was a thing. Buddhism just appeared in the middle of that stuff already. And the Buddha just tweaked it a little. He's like, yes,
Right.
that's a problem. We got to be a real problem here. We're going to reincarnate forever and cause problems constantly. And it's going to not be fun.
Right.
So I'm going to stop the sermon. But I think there's something driving reality as we know it. Birth itself, coming into existence itself, comes out of almost nowhere. And it's a little bit about an illusion, the whole thing.
Is this like the Eye of Sauron though too, where you look at this evil for too long and little pieces stick to you like death, and that twist into like a resentment or a movement away from health or an idea that you're angry all the time, you know, like
Well, we get attached.
you could spend all day fighting for good causes, right? And then in that fight,
yeah, this is the problem. We
you
think
twist.
something and we think it again and again and again. You think things were over and over and over and over. They become actual, real, true stories that are lies. Like I could come up with something right now. I don't know. What is it? I don't know. I don't know, man. I tell stories all the time about what I think about people. What does that carpenter who was here, does he like me? Who cares? I'm moving on. You're in the unfortunate position of knowing a lot of people in your life. I guess family, friends, you have people around you. Me, I consider it a fortunate position because I don't get lonely. I don't know anybody. I got no family here. I hardly have any family at all. I don't know them. They're far away. It's just me and my wife here, and I was almost an only child. I have one sister who I don't hang out with her either. I don't even talk to her. She hates me. So I'm just like this dude living in the world, and it's just like, got a good situation. And I don't know, man. If we have too many stories running in our head about, I feel this, I am that. Here's the problem with this sentence, I am. Those two words, I am, that's a problem. We got to stop saying that all the time. And I'm continuing my sermon, and I apologize. But when you say when you say I in your mind, you say I am all day long. Everybody does it. I do it too. As soon as you say it, reality gets solidified from an illusion into a sensed experience. Okay. This is mystical shit. People who have taken ayahuasca, I think that they're also on board with this, which is interesting. I think that people who take psychedelics, I think, get into this world. But if you meditate enough, as I have, sometimes those things seem like they're true, what I'm saying. But I can't prove it. And when you say am, it's definitely real. You believe it. But you're just you, and I'm just me, and man, and thoughts go through our head. Thoughts are nothing. A thought is not even real. Where is it? Where did it go? Where did it come from? Why does it keep coming back? This is what meditation is all about, by the way. Clearing up those little, they say breath sweeps mind. Sit there, breathe. It sweeps thoughts away. Eventually.
My follow-up question would be to homesteaders and workahols like us who always have a project is, can you lose yourself in just the future thinking?
Oh, totally. That's all we think about all the time.
You're no longer going for your walk. You're no longer lifting your weights. You're no longer doing food prep. You're just putting something in your face so you can get back out there and dig, right? Because you can get fat off of good food too, right? I mean, I've got an abundance here right now too. And I gotta tell you, last night I ate shelled peas till I thought I was gonna die. They were so fucking good.
Raw?
I did like this huge bowl. Well, you saw I put out my harvest bowl there, and I'm like, look.
I'm familiar with the giant pile of peas on the kitchen table. Oh, yeah. What we do is like I don't have the patience. No one does, because there's a big pile this year, which is amazing. They're all in the freezer now. One full freezer bag, boom, from our first crop, which is not a lot, but it's one full freezer bag stuffed. Then we have another batch coming up. And I was going to share some pictures. And today we won't get into the garden pictures today, but I did take some great pictures in the full bloom of everything. And wow, fucking spectacular year on this homestead. The weather has been perfect. Heavy rains, which is great for the mushrooms in the woods also, followed by very mild and very sunny temperatures. No intense heat. Anyway, I'm a fucking chatterbox. It's good to have a podcast. But I like talking to you, and I like talking to people on the internet, I've realized, because I don't have friends. I don't talk to people. When I see people that I know, neighbors or whoever, or a shopkeeper, it's always a very quick, hey, what's up? And I'm not good at small talk, I'm very unskilled at that
Mm.
minutia. How are you? What are you doing? What's going on? It bores me. I don't know. We're in a fucking emergency, and not a climate emergency. We've been talking about a spiritual fucking depravity of this world. I mean, I got no time anymore. I'm on my raft and I'm floating away, and everyone can fuck off.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yep.
So you do you. Work on your raft. Don't worry about
Yeah.
your illnesses. You're sick. Just be sick.
Yeah.
Get better, but work on that. Get better.
Yeah.
And don't make yourself sicker by worrying about other assholes in your life. If people
Yeah.
want to be a sheep, they can go be a sheep with the other sheep.
Well, you know, I had a really big eye opener. My niece came to visit, and so there's some stuff around, like, you know, the closer family or what have you. Now, I'm like you, I kind of detached from it. But I feel like what I realized is, man, they had a lot of shit going on too, that you don't, when you wallow in your own resentment, you really put the blinders on to other people. And that's not to say I want anybody back in my life or anything like that, but you have to have some sort of understanding of life went on. You maybe closed the door and got all angry, but life went on for other people and shit's happening for them too. And if you're choosing to not have somebody in your life, then carrying around a bunch of resentment towards them doesn't really make sense in terms of, you know,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
your
We
health
always worry about what people think of us. We do.
Yeah.
I do.
Particularly women, they're very socially driven.
Yeah, but I always talk myself into. I'm always like, this person's not really in my life. I don't live with them. I mean, whatever they're thinking about me, really, I kind of don't care. And you got to get to that place, I think. But it's easier with people you hardly know. With family and long-term friends that became COVIDian psychos who don't like you because of your political and religious views, they can fuck off. Like, are we getting along? Is this socialism? Like, what is wrong with people? Why is our economy so bad? Why does 50% of our money go to the government? Why? Why does the media scare us about ticks and not tell us what to watch out for? Like a swollen knee that I had for 6 months. I didn't know I had fucking Lyme. My doctor didn't know. Swollen knee. This is the fucking goddamn #1 symptom. Oh, you don't have Lyme. You don't have Lyme. So you know what? The ship is sinking. I'm sorry to report it to you, but it is.
Well, you know, I hear your story about doctors too, that people are going in with their own things that they need and then just manipulating the doctor. So they're basically doing the doctor's job. I never hear anybody go in and it's like, oh, my doctor figured this thing out for me. It's like, I figured it all out over years and just had them go through the process of the labs or whatever. So I'm really, really thankful that I am really thankful that your experience was way different than mine, and I can already feel that you are going to recover.
I hope so, man. I have a punctured eardrum right now. Things keep coming up, man. I have a ear. I stuck it. I know. I have a Q-tip addiction, which has ended almost overnight because I punctured my eardrum. I can't even hear you out of this ear.
That's probably good news for you.
It's fucking traumatizing, actually. I'm such an idiot. This is the self-talk, isn't it? For many years, I had this Q-tip addiction. Okay, it's like, oh yeah, it's nice. And I was joking with my wife because she was saying, in the hospital, we get a lot of these punctured eardrums, right? It's always guys. Why is that? And I said, I think guys like sticking things into holes. Sorry. Was that? Anyway.
Yeah.
Lowbrow? Is that lowbrow or highbrow?
That's definitely not highbrow.
It's a dirty joke. Okay.
That's not highbrow. Yeah, no, that's a guy joke.
But there was a weird, anyway.
Yeah.
So I boom, punctured the eardrum. That ends in addiction overnight because I'm never sticking anything in there ever again. This is terrible. What's going on inside my ear? I forget, what do they call that? Not a busted eardrum, a
ruptured
eardrum. Oh my God. Can we wrap up on, well, there's two, whatever you want, but just two things I would like to, before we go.
Yeah.
One, at the doctor yesterday, I said, I'm finished the antibiotics and all that. And also I'm taking a big herbal thing. It's a big box. I could open it and show it to you. I'm not going to, but it's a big box with like 8 or 9 of these little pill bottles in there with herbal shit. With also like a milkshake thing that I drink with like ashwagandha or something in it. There's skull cap. There's milk
Yeah.
thistle seed extract. Like, there's a million herbs in this shit, okay? Plus charcoal, which I just took, my black pills. Anyway, so I says to the doctor, I says, I'm also taking a lot of this herbal stuff from a naturopathic doctor. And she was like, she looked at me like she didn't understand what language I was speaking. She just kind of looked at me blankly, and she was as if like, what do you want me to know about that? So we had a bit of a laugh together. I said, oh, that's right. You're a doctor. You don't go for that stuff. She was laughing hysterically. She's like, ha, 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 yeah. But we just moved on because I thought no need to talk about it. But I said, like Japanese knotweed, it breaks up the biofilm so that the antibiotic works better, She looked at me like I was speaking fucking Chinese.
She probably doesn't know what a biofilm is.
So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Secondly,
so,
oh yeah, go ahead. You got
no,
something?
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Can we talk about not using a cell phone for a week as an experiment and set up the ground rules before we go? If we have time, because this is a bit of a big thing for me. Maybe
it is, and I feel like I've got no more space for it in my head, but we'll do it next time. We already have another so the good news is that we've already scheduled another podcast for August 26th with me and David, and it'll be about food again, but it's going to be about food preservation because it's that time of year where we have a lot of options when we're wildcrafting or growing, or even if you're going to the farmer's market and buying case lots. Even if you don't grow it, that you can do a lot for food preservations. And I think we've got some interesting ways from water glassing eggs to fermenting.
Yeah, one quick example. We're about to buy our, there's many potato farms, probably in everybody's region. Every year, we don't grow them. We buy 2 50-pound bags. And the savings are crazy. And they last all winter. We threw away like 25 pounds of potatoes with all the eyes coming out. So just little things like that, little hints and tips. Buy once.
Yeah.
But then you got to preserve.
So you could do a lot. And there's a lot of things that actually do stay really good in your cold room or in your pantry or just in your cupboard, as long as you keep it cool. So I think there's some things we can do around that to make our good food last throughout the winter, because the winter is always hard where we are, right? There's not an abundance that you can go out and wildcraft. Hunting stops at the end of November, and so it's those things that we're gonna take a look at. And I guess while we do that, maybe we should do that then, because you and I have been talking, and my husband's been really on this of like, if you really want to stop the AI data centers, get the fuck off your screen.
Yeah, stop providing data. Yeah. Never going to happen. No, we're in it now, for sure. This is part of the sinking. This is all happening. The Panopticon. They're telling us lies about flying cars and traveling to the moon or Mars, living forever, hooking your brain into a machine and becoming immortal. They're saying all this stuff. This great future that's coming.
They're going to do that. That's going to be for rich people. None of this shit is ever for us. We are not the ones going to Mars. Or if we do, it'll be a few slogs that go get it ready for rich people. And same with the moon and stuff. We'll be here. We'll be here, and we will be carrying on the natural human species, because I don't think they're going to upload us neither. We'll either be dead or we'll be in the bush. I mean, that's about it.
Okay, here's a great wrap up. There's a news story that's a nautical kind of news story, and our show is a little bit not nautically themed, and it also relates to this topic of the tech titans. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg. This guy is out on his super yacht with his whole crew in Alaskan waters, having a great time. Yeah, maybe going out, maybe crossing the ice wall to the flat Earth. We don't know, but he was in Alaska. I also don't believe in a flat Earth. I don't. But I also don't know if it's round. I don't fucking believe anything about the world's shape. I don't give a shit. Okay. This is a news story. It's mainstream news. People may have heard it. There's a distress call that comes to all ships around, including his. We're fucking sinking. We need help. We're in Alaskan water. We're going to freeze to death. Red alert, SOS. They have beacons on the ships, right? Everyone knows this.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
They ignored. So Zuckerberg and his crew ignored the SOS Mayday 10 times. And once confronted about it, his crew says, Mark was not on the ship at the time, and we were on a different radio channel. So sorry, go fuck yourself. We're the tech titans. On the SS, transhumanist motherfucker, whatever we say, you just have to suck it up. We're building the data centers. We know all about your data. We know all about you. And very soon, you're going to be a fucking slave.
Mm-hmm.
That's how these people think. And I really believe it. This is how evil people think. That's how Sam Altman thinks, Elon Musk, and all the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they think. Fuck all of you.
And obviously, not only are they not going to let you on their ship, they're not going to put a raft out for you. So
That's
they're
right.
not even going to forward on the SOS, right? And
Yeah. So
I think it's weird that Mark Zuckerberg's ship is out in the middle of the Alaskan Ocean without Mark Zuckerberg. It makes you wonder what they're doing there, and who's on it. But
maybe he was just in the air briefly on the aircraft, the helicopter that's probably there. I'm sure they're just lying. First of all,
they've got too much to lose by helping you, or they feel like they do. And in fact, like I read this thing in prepping that one of the preps that the ultra rich are doing is they're prepping their people so they don't turn on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've done whole courses and made processes to keep their people under their wings so they never turn on them.
Yeah.
And you're not one of them, and you're not one of their people.
Well,
so they don't care if you drowned in the Alaskan Sea.
I know, yeah. Speaking of parasites, they think that human beings are. Human beings created in the image of God are not parasites. Mm-hmm. Evil motherfuckers who are born out of the depths of hell and have taken human flesh in this world, they're out there too. And somehow they like to rise to power because they have that psychopathic gene. And they'll do anything. And they're very smart sometimes. And that's a bad combo because they all rise to the top. And that's just the way that our world works, according to my perspective as a Buddhist, that it's this life is not perfect. And it's bad behavior is rewarded. Gluttony is just, we can't help it. We can't even help it. Or our cravings and our addictions and our cyclical thinking, it can't be stopped unless we just pray to fucking God or something. Spirit can change people for the better. Dark forces also can change people for the worse and give them a lot of power. Blood drinkers, they're going down someday anyway. They're going to go down. I'm talking to Andre on Friday. We're going to talk about transhumanism big time. I'm starting a new podcast, by the way. We'll talk about that later. But we're going to talk about this anthropotechno. What is it? There's a great word that we're going to use for this. It's anthropotechno something. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
You know, when they first started turning out computers and people were getting addicted and what have you. Sorry, that's my husband. It's time to book our hunting stuff.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to wrap it up.
They called it cyborg anthropology.
Yeah. Anthropotechnotheism. This is a new word that was just coined at a 2026 conference of all these big wigs of the Christian world over there. And I saw this article, and one of the priests said that we have something happening in the world right now. It's called anthropotechnotheism. Human beings are believing they're going to create robots that will become human. And not only that, humans will become gods.
Well, the data centers may very well be where they upload your consciousness and decide who's going to get a body and who's not.
Yeah. So until next time, we should talk about the digital diet more, right?
Yeah. Because digital diet is going to be
I do want to talk about that more. We're going to talk about that more.
Food preservation. Until then, if you feel like you need some help with trying to get your health back and weighing in on food, I do recommend that people do register for that free class. It's in the show notes with Pattern Shift. I can't make it that day, but one of the things he's doing too is if you register, then you get an email link to the non-live version of it. So I really like it, may not speak to everybody, but I really think that if you're trying to make a change, put it out there. Don't calcify your mind to what's going to work. Try a bunch of stuff. It can't hurt. lean
Yeah.
into your faith, I guess. And we're all, the struggle is just as important as, you know, the perfection, right? Of getting there.
Yeah.
So keep
Yeah.
struggling, I guess.
Yeah. And change is pain. It just is.
Yeah,
Change
totally.
means pain. Whether
Yeah.
it's a little bit of change or a lot of change, the pain might
Yep.
be a little, might be a lot.
Yep. For sure. For sure. And
So
I'm so glad we had this talk. And again, I'm so thankful you're on the mend, David. I really, really am. I can see your back, your face, your coloring has evened out and stuff like that. And
I know it's
uh
crazy. I feel so bad, like having doing a podcast. Like if
yeah.
anybody goes to my podcast and just don't even click play, if you can see the color and the look of my face for the
Mm-hmm.
past like 20 or so episodes. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
was doing podcasts once, like I really had to keep it together. And
Mm-hmm.
after it was over, I would collapse and have to go to bed. It took so much
Mm-hmm.
mental energy to run a podcast under the effects of
Yeah.
Lyme. You can see in my face, I'm struggling just to keep, like, what the fuck are we even talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like it.
Do you remember that? So my memory is bad, and I don't know if yours is over this, but this one time when you were having the talk with the school, and I asked you, I'm like, have you always been such a spaz?
I know, man. I got to apologize to some teachers, but at the same time, I think, anyway, I don't want to talk about the school. It's just such a bad, I got to just get through it and get out of there.
Well, you know what you could say is I was very sick, and I think
Mm.
the learning for all of us, you as teachers
Yeah.
and that psychologist, the free one or whatever, and yourself, is that there's a lot of neurological stuff that is rooted in the physiological world, and we should not jump to a mental health status because that means we miss the root cause for curative measures, right?
Yeah. There will be a conversation because I'm going back to school in the winter and
Mm-hmm.
to finish up my last few
Mm-hmm.
credits because I had to
And you're
leave
gonna
because
do,
my health was so bad. I actually had to leave
yeah,
school.
yeah.
I did voluntary exit, whatever it's called. They have a process, but I can go back and finish up when I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready and healthy.
And you will.
Medical withdrawal. I thought it was
Yeah,
from a stroke. I thought I was having stroke problems.
yeah.
That
I
fucking
thought it was
goddamn
from your
Lyme.
stroke too. I did
Jesus.
too. Yeah,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I guess I will wrap up.
yeah. Everyone, don't wait for them. In fact, they're part of the problem. Build your own life raft. And the first rule of life raft is build your own health. You're your greatest asset.
Yeah,
You're your greatest
that's a big
asset.
thing. Yeah, you can grow food and preserve it and everything, but like I think a lot of
Yeah.
people do that and can do that, but still be a complete deranged lunatic to their family, to themselves, to everyone around them.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the farmer's market. They're
Yeah.
out there. Leftist lunatics. They're all over the place.
It's definitely feels like it's a transition time where we've been in it too long and people are losing their way, including myself, and losing direction and looking back instead of looking forward. And this has been a real eye opener. I'm hoping I can try and implement some of the things I've done before and make some changes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
Until well,
so take care, everyone. Stay on for a minute, David. Take
yep.
care, everyone. Time to build your own life raft.
One more thing. Are we still live?
No.
Share our show,
Yep.
please. We don't use to. Well, you have one or two things. I don't use social media. I would like to spread our podcast around a little. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. I've been doing podcasts for 2.5 years, and I've never asked once for anything to share. Please share, like, subscribe, slam that bell. No, just go ahead. First time, I'll ask for me, please, for us.
Yeah,
Share our show.
yeah.
We're trying to fucking be of service, even if we're failing. We're trying. God damn it. We're not going to sit here and talk about what Donald Trump said last week, what Mark Carney's doing. They're drinking blood. We know it. We're moving on in our life. Okay.
Yeah.
We get it.
The other thing I would say to people is all our subscriptions are free, right? So to get on us with Substack, which is on my channel at the Human Responsibilities Tribunal, you find us on Rumble or whatever. None of our content is behind any wall because that's not why we do this. We actually already have money and are building our things. So this is not a money venture. This is just a paradigm shift, moving out of mental health, moving out of the big industrial and governmental systems and providing for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yep.
write this down, or try to remember this too, because sometime I do want to talk also on this show with you about people believe you need a lot of money to become a homesteader, to
Mhm.
grow food, to do these things. I've been thinking about it just in my mind a lot lately. Like, what could I do if I had no money, but a little land? So you got to figure that out. Or if a friend's land, either way. You could, one example, and we got to wrap this up, I know, but you could
Mhm.
use fucking logs, fill it with soil, make a square out of logs, or pile stones into little squares and fill them with soil. It's free. Anyway, there's a million ideas for people who want to grow
A
food but don't have
million.
any money. Yeah, okay.
That's right. That's
Another
right.
time. Another time. Okay.
Yurts are great too. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.